To understand what may happen this Tuesday, we need to start with last spring. The Obamacare controversy had faded from the headlines. The president's approval rating had climbed back to the mid-40s, and Democrats had a plan to make social issues the cornerstone of the 2014 midterms. But things soon started to unravel. Vladimir Putin and a group of Ukrainian rebels suddenly threatened a Cold War-style showdown. The conflict went on for months, but by June, a new story pushed Mr. Putin from the headlines here. Thousands of unaccompanied children started showing up at our southern border, overwhelming the Border Patrol. They wound up warehoused in detention centers and elsewhere, and it got ugly fast, to the point where one California town turned away buses full of these immigrants. While the border issue played out, an even bigger crisis was taking shape in the Middle East. On June 10th, an army of terrorists calling themselves the Islamic State captured the Iraqi city of Mosul. The next day, they would take Tikrit. They had already taken Fallujah and Ramadi months earlier, with President Obama dismissing them then as, quote, JV. Now they controlled an area the size of the United Kingdom, declaring the creation of a caliphate. President Obama denounced the group, but seemed unwilling to engage until the horror of Mount Sinjar. In the beginning of August, American TV screens were filled with pictures like these of Christian and Yazidi innocents running for their lives as ISIS moved in. Trapped on Mount Sinjar with no food, water, or shelter, the U.S. intervened and helped thousands escape. Officials say at least 300 died on that mountain. And then a new horror. Here is the Kelly file on August 19th. First, a horrifying message for America from the terrorists in Iraq. Islamic extremists releasing a new video claiming to show the beheading of an American journalist, and now threatening to kill another American in their custody. For nearly 24 hours, the White House waited to react. Under pressure to say something, the president came to the microphones while on vacation in Martha's Vineyard and said this.
Jim was taken from us in an act of violence that shocks the conscience of the entire world. Now, Jim Foley's life stands in stark contrast to his killers. Let's be clear about ISIL. They have rampaged across cities and villages, killing innocent, unarmed civilians. There has to be a common effort to extract this cancer so that it does not spread.
Less than 15 minutes later, the commander-in-chief was playing golf, in a move he later admitted was a mistake. Since that time, the president has launched a series of airstrikes, committed more troops, and pledged to degrade and destroy this terror army. And still, his foreign policy numbers have sunk to new lows. His generals are unhappy, and the public is unconvinced. Former Defense Secretary Leon Panetta did not help with a recent book that reminded voters of missed opportunities in Iraq and Syria and suggested there is no leadership in this White House. Now, just before the midterms, the White House is on defense as Ebola finds its way to America. Despite assurances we would stop it overseas, we were screening here at home, and our hospitals knew what to do, none of which held up. So what does this mean for Tuesday's elections? The social issues, once key to the Democrat strategy, have gotten far less play, while leadership, the president, and his policies have become the factor in almost all of the key races.